I've seen it all before. It all builds up inside of your head. It all spills over into such a pretty mess. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the June 2016 version of Junk Food News. To start off with today's interesting subjects, we're going to look at an offer that McDonald's Japan had, where they were offering to give away an 18-karat gold chicken McNugget. That's the craziest gold nugget I've ever heard of. There was also a really interesting article in The Gothamist about ice cream gangs. These ice cream gangs were found in New York, and what they would do is fight for space for like the most popular ice cream trucks locations and everything like that. Apparently it could get really violent, and there was actually people hurt and a great amount of damage all over Mr. Softee ice cream trucks. Just to show a little of my Canadian pride, apparently this year, according to Atlas Obscura, it was an amazing year for Canadian maple syrup. So, yay patriotism! June was also the introduction of Starbucks offering cold brew coffee on tap. So I've heard sort of mixed feelings about it. A lot of people say that it's one of the worst cold brew coffees ever made. I wouldn't actually know because I really don't like coffee that much, and the idea of cold brew coffee sounds really awful. But, has anybody out there tried some Starbucks cold brew? What do you think of it? Wired had a really interesting article about the science or the physics behind no-stick ketchup and mayonnaise bottles. You ever notice how in a glass bottle your ketchup always sticks, but in those squeezy bottles they just come completely clean? There's actually an interesting amount of science that goes into that, and what I want to know is why aren't these salad dressing and ketchup manufacturers using this technology for their bottles? Because I can't tell you how many times I've had to scrape mayonnaise out of the corner of a bottle. Speaking of interesting things, apparently Burger King in Brazil released a special edition Whopper scented air freshener. So that way every time you step in your car, you'll get that wonderful smell of congealing food that's been sitting in your back seat too long. As you may or may not know, I'm also a bit of a Disney fan as well. I always follow a bit of the Disney World news. Not as much the movies, but I'm really big into the theme parks. What I heard about this month all the time was Disney offered a special cupcake that was modeled to look like Donald Duck's butt. Now, would you eat a cupcake that looked like Donald Duck's butt? Or is there any other Disney character that you would eat a cupcake that looked like their butt? I don't know if any of you caught this, but Hostess released a special edition Twinkie this month. Apparently it was deep fried Twinkies. I didn't actually have a chance to try one of these, but if anybody out there did, I'd love to hear, were they crunchy on the outside? A cold deep fried Twinkie just sounds awful. As it turns out, there was a clever sort of scientific homebody who decided that he would try and deep fry the ultimate thing, deep fried water. Now, don't get too upset. This isn't going to be the next thing you're going to find at the fairgrounds nowadays. This is just an interesting science experiment to see if it could be done, and apparently it can be. So if you've ever thought about deep frying water, the healthiest deep fried food there is, in the weird things that I don't think I'd ever want to drink, but might be a future episode of Chris, Why Would You Eat That? Apparently they're now offering pickle brine in a can. So, if those pesky pickles get in the way, you can always just have that sweet, sweet, briny juice instead. In our crazy Japanese fruit that cost way too much segments, a black watermelon in Japan sold for $4,700. Just one watermelon. I wonder if they actually ate it or if you just put it on your mantle and enjoy looking at it. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but Kinder Eggs are actually illegal in the United States. There's been a couple of articles in the past that talk about some of the fines people have been given trying to import Kinder Eggs from Canada to the United States. We're talking thousands or hundreds of dollars just for one or two Kinder Eggs. But as it turns out, I always thought the U.S. was a little crazy about this, but Chile as well is another country that has apparently banned Kinder Eggs. Might be for a slightly different reason, but Kinder Eggs, they're going to be the ultimate sort of bad treat for everybody. I'm not much of a wine aficionado, and I don't even know if it qualifies as junk food, but I just had to tell you guys about this. Apparently there is a winery in, I believe it's France, but it's in Europe, that has created a blue wine. So just in case you're not into red, whites, or rosés, which I assume is just a mix of red and white, you can now have blue wine. In news that kind of ticked me off, apparently Microsoft Outlook, the famous email app and program, has added a new button which will allow you to click it and schedule a meeting with your friends at a local Starbucks. And it'll figure out which Starbucks is sort of in the middle of all of you, and then that way you can meet at this central location, and it's sort of a fair location. Now the thing that pisses me off is, as a Canadian, I think they should build a Tim Hortons button, because you know what? Maybe some of us don't want to drink at Starbucks. A little bit earlier we were talking about blue wine. Well, apparently that's not the only wine that's kind of out there. Apparently nowadays they've made wine from catnip. It's not for you to drink though. It's for your little furry friend to drink. So just in case, you're sitting on the couch with a glass of wine thinking, I'm so lonely, I'm here by myself, drinking all by myself, and your cute little cat comes snuggling up next to you, they can participate in the drinking as well. It'll be the saddest picture you've ever seen. Here's an interesting thing. KFC India added a new feature to its chicken to-go boxes. Apparently, they now offer a place to plug in your cell phone and charge it on your to-go box. So, just in case you're sitting there and you're playing on your phone while you're eating your KFC at home and it starts to die, no need to run to an outlet. Just plug it right into the box there and you're good to go. I always love it when candy inspires. So, there have been a few companies out there that have made beer-flavored ice cream. But then one company that loves Ben & Jerry's cookie dough ice cream decided, why don't we make a beer that's flavored like ice cream? So apparently keep an eye out for it. Maybe it's some small places where you can get microbrew beer, but Ben & Jerry's cookie dough flavored ice cream beer. Did I say that right? So you happen to like cheese snacks. And you thought, well, how could I possibly have the ultimate cheese snack in one single serving? Well, Burger King has you covered. Burger King came up with a mac and cheese deep fried ball that's covered in Cheetos. So it's like a Cheeto cheese deep fried macaroni. Well, it's basically a cheese flavored heart attack is what I think we want to call it. But I'll be honest, I really, really want to try them. I came across a really interesting article that featured old scans of this catalog that was selling McDonald's branded clothing to the public. Because apparently at one time people wanted to dress up with logos of their favorite fast food. The thing is, I kind of would like that. I know people are saying it's a sellout thing, but to be honest, I think it'd be kind of cool. Well, Japan has not stopped giving us lots and lots of content this month. Apparently, there's a Ghostbusters themed burger place. And they offer a special Ghostbusters themed burger, which looks absolutely horrifying. In fact, I've seen the trailers for the new Ghostbusters movie. I'm pretty sure this hamburger is scarier than any of the ghosts they featured. The Disney Parks blog posted actually a really fascinating article about the difference between macarons and macaroons. So if you've ever had that problem where you've gone up to your local baker and asked for a macaron and gotten a macaroon, or asked for a macaroon and got a macaron, this might actually help you out a little bit. It also features some amazing pictures of some of the macarons and macaroons available at various Disney parks. A teacher in Maine, a science teacher, had decided to do an experiment. He decided to see whether or not Twinkies would age. The interesting thing is, he started that experiment 40 years ago. So in 1976, same year I was born, this professor decided to just leave a Twinkie out and see what would happen. The results are kind of shocking and still kind of appetizing. Serious Eats this month posted a really fascinating article about how the south of the southern United States really sort of added and created the boom of the soda pop industry. Now, as you may know, Atlanta is sort of the home of Coca-Cola, but there were so many brands and so many interesting things going on at that time in the southern United States that really built the soda industry, which is now like a globally monstrous industry. Anywhere you go in the world, there's Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Fanta, all these brands, but a lot of their origins can be sort of traced back to certain states in the United States during when soda was just in its infancy. Speaking of soda pop, it was announced at the end of June, Crystal Pepsi might be coming back. Now, everybody says, all the articles I've read says it is coming back, but I've sort of heard rumors like that before and then been disappointed or maybe relieved. Actually, I'll be honest, I've never really tried Crystal Pepsi, but I haven't really heard good things about it. In government news, the Federal Drug Administration, which would be the American Federal Drug Administration, has officially said that raw cookie dough is not good to eat. Now, I guess if we look back at those guys that were brewing cookie dough beer, cookie dough ice cream flavored beer, they might be having some problems. And Ben & Jerry's, do you guys actually use real cookie dough? I mean, are you guys going to stop making your cookie dough ice cream? Because that stuff's pretty good. I'll be honest, you're never going to stop me from eating cookie dough because it's one of the best treats you could possibly have. A video popped up this in the month of June all about a brawl that took place in a Texas restaurant. Now, it's not very clear, but as it turns out, the brawl started about an argument over chips and salsa. I've never been to Texas, but I've been to southern United States, and I know some people take their food there very seriously. And apparently chips and salsa in Texas, taken very seriously. Thanks for listening to our episode of Junk Food News, where we've been talking all about the news that's happened in junk food for June 2016. As always, if you want to check out any of the links that we talked about here, and a few other links, and as well as anything we have at Candy Critic, you can go to @CandyCritic on Twitter. Or, if you're not using Twitter, you can go to www.candycritic.org, and there you'll find links to all kinds of other social media, including Instagram, Facebook, and you can also keep up with our new reviews on candycritic.org. You can also check out our podcasts. This podcast and others are available on SoundCloud. You can look up Candy Critic, or you can go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/candycritic, I believe. If not, you can find all these links at candycritic.org. And as always, you can go to candycritic.org/junkfood, JUNKFUD, and you can find old episodes of this, as well as you can also find episodes of our video show, Chris, Why Would You Eat That? And thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next month. Bye.
It all builds up inside of your head. It all spills over into such a pretty mess. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Two small girls in a house made of sticks. Jello on the table. Peekaboo, I love you. You make the sunshine. At the picnic, mustard, ketchup hides my shame. Feathers, fluffy, fantastic. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. Every day, every night, happy fills my heart. The well flows over the fountain. You're gonna love it. Lucky, not shy. Bob haircut on top. Bubble snowflakes on the Surrey River. Peppy, flower soda pop. Just a minute, young lady. Shiver, splinter, sparkle. Go for it, Eddie. Hi, sugar cookie. Sugar cookie, cookie. 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 What? I just keep saying sugar cookie?
No, do some scat.
Jesus Christ. For God's sake. Ay, yay, yay. Ay, yay, ya, pui, pa, 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 lu, i. Pupi, pa, lu, pi, pi, lu, pi, pi, pi. Le, pa, pi, pe, pa, lu, pe, lu, pom, pom, pom. Shan, chiki, kong, pam, pam, piao, piao, pow, pow. bow, no, no, boy, 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 bow. Sugar cookie, what, papa, sugar cookie, oh, sugar cookie, oh, oh, for pepe, dum, dum, sugar, gong. That's all you get. Apple pepe for my la. Apple pepe for my la. Shibby the ball, doody doody the bed, or dooby the bear, doody doody the bed, or dooby the bear, doody doody the bed, or booby boo. Shoo, guy.